All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to create a cyanotype out of a photo. You can see the photo right here. You can see the cyanotype right here. Specifically in Photoshop, like there's different ways to do it physically, right? But in Photoshop, there's obviously different ways to do it there too. Now, you can see I did some with people. I did some here with fruit. This one here with a butterfly. Usually this is done by hand, but obviously in Photoshop, it's not by hand, but I'm gonna walk you through those steps. All right, first thing we're gonna do, you're gonna go up in Photoshop, you're gonna go up to the top where it says File, and then click on New. Now here, I like to name my pieces, the pop-up window that just came up. I'm gonna put my name. I like to name my pieces with my name, first name, last initial. Then I'm gonna put underscore, and what is it? It's a cyanotype, right? Now over here, with the width, I'm gonna change this to inches. I'm gonna do it 13 by 19, which is what we usually print our pages in, 13 by 19. Now, the exact resolution should be 300 for professional print, but because we're doing it on a inkjet printer, I'm gonna do 150, and that's pixels per inch. And then the color mode, I'm just gonna change it to RGB, right? So 13 by 19, 150, RGB, change the name right here. If your photo is horizontal, you could do it 19 by 13. If it's vertical, 13 by 19. All right. Everything else, leave it the same and then just hit create. All right. Now I want to create a solid background. So solid color, half and half color, solid color, and this is going to be all white. Make sure that your CMYK is 0000, right? This is my paper. Now I'm going to create a color, solid color. Here, I could just change this to paper, right? I'm gonna create a solid color for my cyanotype itself. Half and half cookie, solid color. Now I could guess the blue that I want, right? But I created this, if you guys find it useful, great. I created this in Illustrator. I'm gonna pick this color right here, Command C to copy. Then I'm gonna go into Photoshop, Command V. That's the hex color for that color right there. Those colors that I selected on there, those are colors that are very typical when you're creating cyanotypes, depending on how long you expose it for, depending on how transparent, but these are very cyanotype types of colors. All right, so back in Photoshop, right, I have both of my masks showing my colors. For the cyanotype one, here you go, cyanotype. It's always good to name your layers. For the cyanotype layer, I'm gonna do Command I, because I actually don't want to see any of the blue. So anything that's black is gonna hide. So in this case, I'm hiding all of the blue. The reason I want to do that is because in cyanotype, you're actually brushing. This is for the physical one, not the Photoshop one. But when you're doing cyanotypes in person, you're brushing a photosensitive liquid onto a piece of paper. Now you can see over here in Pinterest, let me move this over. You can see that it has those kind of edges, right? Edges that you can see are not actually like perfectly clean. Some of it are drips on there, right? Those are the kind of edges that we want to create. We also want to give it a texture, by the way, but we'll do that later. But the edges are the first thing. So back in Photoshop, I'm going to click on my mask. I'm going to click on my brush tool, and then I'm making sure that white is my first color at the top. Now, if you go on here after you click on the brush, you can see most of you guys are going to be on your general brushes right away. Close that. General brushes are not going to look like someone hand brushed it. You can go to the dry media brushes, which for me, I would use probably the Kyle Ultimate Pastel Palooza, right? You could click on that. I actually went through and I downloaded a whole different set. I've downloaded a whole bunch of different sets, like special brushes. If you just look online for .abr, which is the file extension for Photoshop brushes, you could find things like ones that have smoke, butterflies. For me, I did these painter ones. But for the case of this tutorial, I'm going to just click on dry media. I'm going to do that Palooza one, which is down here. There you go. Now I'm going to brush in, right, with that brush. Now you can see it's very small. If I go on my keyboard next to the letter P, I have two brackets. The one all the way to the right makes it bigger. The one to the left makes it a little bit smaller, right? You want to mix it up. Because this isn't such a custom brush, you want to mix it up. Like right now, I'm just doing all medium right there. Now I'm going to make it real big. I'm going to brush around there. Now I'm going to make it real small. I'm gonna brush back up in here, right? I wanna make it look as custom as possible. So there you go. Here you go, right there. Make this small right there. And if you wanna take away, black, right? So make it look more custom, right there, right there, right there. Okay, there, that's good enough for right now. Now I want to add my photo. Now I downloaded my photo from Pexels. You can see it right here. I do want to clip it out. Each photo that you select, whether you're doing leaves, whether you're doing bugs, fruit, whatever it is, this being a flower, I want to take my time and clip it out. For this tutorial, I'm not going to take my time. I'm doing just a quick selection tool, select subject. You can see it didn't do a great job right here. I'm going to add onto that. I would go a little bit further, but again, for this tutorial, I think it's fine. I'm going to click right here on the quick selection tool. The quick selection tool, select subject, and then the Japan flag to clip it out. Now, again, for you guys, definitely take your time, refine edge some of these things, go in there, brush it in. But now I just need to take this and bring it to my new cyanotype. So I grab the layer from the layers palette right here, right? I grab that and I drag it into my new layer right here. With the move tool, I can move it and place it wherever I want. Cool, there it is. Now, I want to do a few things to this. One, I need to make it black and white. So half and half circle, black and white, right? I can mess around with these different things, and I might want to mess around just to get the contrast, the veins that are inside there to really pop out. Maybe that. And then I want to go in here and do levels. Half and half circle, levels, right? Let's see. Maybe here. Maybe there. Okay. And then the next thing is I want to do half and half cookie, solid color. I could do a gradient as well, but for this one, I just do a solid color. And again, I want to select the color from my Illustrator file right here. I'll give this to you in Google Classroom or in a different way. I guess I'll put it on the description like each one of these in YouTube, but I'll do this color, Command C. I'll go back into Photoshop, Command V, that's the hex color right there. Boom. And now you can see they're all just on top of each other. 1, 2, and 3. These three, I want it to only apply to my flower. So I'm gonna hold Option, click in between there. You see it gives you like that little piece right there. That means that black and white is now only applied to that. If I hold Option here, now that is applied just to the flower. And this is applied just to the flower. So these three are now being applied just to the flower. Now, the last one that I created, this one right here, I don't want it normal. I want it to either be multiply or screen. Let me see, screen actually looks pretty good. There you go. All right, I have a pretty basic cyanotype, right? It doesn't look great. I could inverse this photo, which if I didn't tell you before, in cyanotypes, you're usually getting the reverse or the inverted image. So if I click here and do Command I invert my actual image. And that's good. This is actually how I want it for right now. But it looks kind of plain. It looks like the paper is so smooth that there is actually no paper. It looks Photoshop. What I did, I downloaded a few textures in, oh my gosh, in Pexels. I went into Pexels and I looked up things like texture. Right? And then I grabbed something that looked like paper, this one right here, or any other ones, right? But something that looks like paper, and I put that on there. So in Photoshop, I go up here, File, Place, and I'm gonna place that downloaded image. Let's see, is it this one? No, this one. I'm gonna place it. I'm gonna rotate it. This is with the Move tool, by the way. Hold Shift. Doesn't have to be the exact size. It should definitely be bigger, if not the exact size. And I'm gonna move this all the way up to the top. That just took all the option in between there. This one I just wanted the top. And now for this one, I'm gonna do multiply. Now you can see it looks like it's all on one kind of paper, right? You can see the texture right there. You can see the texture going all the way through. That's good. It's not great, but it's good. Usually when you have a cyanotype, it's distressed a little bit. So that's just the paper one, right? That's the paper color. It's all blending into that. And now I'm gonna do a file, place embedded again. And this time I'm going to put a texture of something that's splattered, because again, if you have something in Cyanotype, you either did it like this, right? You brushed it on. So this is a brush technique that I'm just going to put, a brush texture, I mean, that's going to add a technique to the whole thing. Now you can see it's in color, so I am going to want to change a few things, right? Here, I'm going to change this to, let's see, exclusion. Now it has color. I do want to take that out. Half and half cookie on this one. Black and white. And I'm going to hold option and just click in between those two. Now I could change everything on here just to make this stand out more. You can see it kind of brings out a little bit of that gold part right there. This one, let me see. What else should I do? That looks better. This looks a little bit better. And now I could just fine tune it. My levels, I could change my levels a little bit, right? Bring more of that texture right there. My black and white. This is for the flower. I could play around with different things in here. It's just the blue, I guess. Yeah, that's good enough. The other thing is, you can see that this part right there is being affected. I could actually take, right? I could take this right here, hold command and click here. And I could just brush that right into here. If I brush anything in with black, I selected, right? I got the marching ants from this one. Then I clicked on this one, brush right here. I could do a regular brush actually. Well, and I'll keep the same brush with black. Oop. Quite the opposite actually. Command Shift I on my selection. So select, inverse my selection, and now I can brush this part out. And there you go. You have a cyanotype that has a little bit of the gold flakes in it. You have definitely the blue. You have the reverse image. And remember, you could do this with anything else. People, flowers, leaves, bugs, fruit, or anything in between there. I hope this helps. Enjoy.